Right, so what I would like to cover this morning in my short presentation is a little bit building on what Mike said, looking at the future of our industry, the wider context, but also how we feel that polyolefin producers and more specific, Basel should react to this, to survive in this new environment. And deriving from that, we'll come to the Alastian offering and how we think that we can use and that how we have used the internet as an opportunity to expand our business. And then we'll take some time to look back at Alastian. We started up that business in 2004. We're 3 years down the road now. And I would like to share with you how we've been moving from what I would say a more visionary approach to a hard business reality at this very moment. Well, first of all, building on what Mike has been saying, if you want to understand the changing scene in polyolefins, we need to take a look at the oil and the gas resources. As you know, oil and gas are our base feedstock for our industry. And in reserves, they are all sitting in the hands of a very few nations. And these resource-owning countries, as we could just see from Mike's presentation, these countries, they want to add the maximum value to this energy, but the problem they have is that they have relatively small populations, so they don't have the internal demand to consume all these high added value products that will be produced. So as said, these products, they will need to find for a home. So if you look at the combination of this capacity growth in feedstock rich areas, you can see the bars appearing on your screen. So the combination of this capacity addition together with the demand growth in the high population areas, we think that this will result in an unprecedented move of polyolefins in between regions, of which the consequences will go far beyond the opportunities that this presents for companies that are transporting the products that we manufacture. So what you could say is that wealthy nations, they're no longer exhibiting significant growth. The resource-rich nations, they have relatively small populations, and the populous nations, they have little feedstock. So this is how we think that the industry will square this challenge. We think that Europe has to adjust to remain competitive. The Americas, they're largely self-contained, but they will be subject to global cost pressures. Japan will probably be restructuring towards niche markets. China and India are expected to become the growth engines, while, again, as just discussed, the Middle East will mainly drive capacity growth. According to us, what are the tools required to maintain a market share and to even grow it? Well, building on what we just said, we feel that established players, they need access to advantaged feedstock. And the feedstock-rich regions, they need access to markets. And the fast-growing populated regions, they need products and innovation. On top of that, expertise and cost leadership is absolutely essential, not to mention that access to technology and innovation is absolutely paramount. So we believe that the people that will be surviving this downturn are the ones that can leverage their today's strength. They can build the right partnership with the right companies, orient the portfolio to the higher value segments, and also reach new growing markets. Let's have a look at Basel. And I think we can say that the inventors of polyolefins, that's Hoechst, Montedison, and ICI, they disappeared from the scene a long time ago, let's say 10 years ago or so, and in our industry 10 years is a long time. Then there were the oil companies that appeared that were looking for basically downstream integration for global growth. But in the meantime, following poor returns in our industry, they also seem to have finished now. We can say that they were partly responsible themselves for the poor returns following overinvestment. So this basically paved the way for a number of financial and industrial investors that are now coming into our industries and that are looking at financial returns and that are looking at increasing shareholder value. So this has also been the case for Basel, who since 2005 is owned by Access Industries, and this group is bringing to us a lot of entrepreneurial behavior. Is also bringing to us the financial discipline, and we really feel that in this new structure we are much better placed to implement in an efficient and a quick way the new strategy that will be required to deal with this with the changing industry dynamics. What will Basel be doing to deal with this changing market situation? Well, these are basically, as you can see on the slide, these are the 4 main strategies for success that we have identified and that we are implementing. The first one is access to advantaged feedstock, and I can give you 2 examples there. I think at this moment at Basel we have 3 joint ventures in Saudi Arabia. One of them is running, 2 others are in the process of putting metal in the ground, and those plants are scheduled for startup the coming years. And we are going there. We are looking there at completely integrated complexes, so from gas to monomers to polyolefins. We also signed, if I'm not mistaken, 18 months ago, a memorandum of understanding with the Kazmunaygas, which is the Kazakhstan energy company, to build the first world-scale petrochemical complex in Kazakhstan. So I would say this is how we make sure that we continue in the future to have access to advantage feedstock. The second one, which is paramount, is to stay ahead in polyolefins innovation. I think we can very proudly say that when it comes to both catalyst technology and process technology, Basel is the undisputed leader today. If you look at catalyst technology, I think our heritage started with the discovery of polypropylene and polyethylene by Karel Ziegler and Giulio Natta more than 50 years ago. Also, when it comes to polyethylene and polypropylene processes licensing, I think we can proudly say that we are setting the standard today in the polyolefins industry. Third one is expanding our presence to the east. So there's more growth today than what we're facing and what we're seeing in the established market. So, as just said, we're looking at doing things in Kazakhstan. So we've recently opened offices in Russia, in Turkey, and I would say that one of the major milestones that we achieved a number of years ago was the startup of our joint venture with PKN in Poland, where we created Basel Oren polyolefins, and where we basically invested in a number of world-scale plants using Basel top-notch technology to serve the East European market. And last but not least, and that brings us to our topic of today, is choices for customers. You had guessed it already. Here we come to Alastian, where Basel is basically making available to the market different ways of buying polyolefins. As you know, we have the Alastian way, where we got rigid, simple, structured processes in place, and where as a consequence of that, we can also make a competitive offering compared to our more traditional channels, where we have tailoring solutions, where we have tailoring business process, and where also our competitive offering is quite different.